Hey guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Natalia. I'm an English-speaking tour guide based in the capital city of Ukraine, Kiev. My purpose is to open up my viewers' eyes to Kiev's most outstanding cultural and architectural landmarks. Locally, my channel is going to be one of its kind. No Kiev tour guide has ever done online English language tours at such level of detail. In so doing, I very much hope that many of my former tourists, who by the way come from all over the world and who took a tour from me when visiting Kiev, will remember me and will support me in this endeavor. What follows is my intro video where I'm sharing the story of one of Kiev's churches known as the Church of St.Nicholas the Wonder Worker, Prytysk. Off we go! The Church of St.Nicholas Prytysk is an Orthodox church protected by law. It's one of the oldest architectural landmarks that survived in Podil, which is Kiev's oldest neighborhood. It was built between 1695 and 1707 at the expense of Kiev ironmonger Peter, nicknamed the Iron Grosh, which translates as Peter the Iron Dime. The guy must have been rich, hence his name. However, the truth is that at the time only copper and silver coins were in circulation in this corner of the world. So I must say, it kind of strikes me as odd that the guy was named that way and not as Peter the Silver Dime or the Copper Dime. This small church looks like many wooden churches you can see in the Ukrainian countryside. It has only one dome, which sits on an octahedral drum. What a word! That is a supporting base with 8 sides to it. Its architecture is a mixture of Ukrainian Baroque, Empire style and Classicism. This might sound a bit vague to you, but trust me, it's 3 in 1. And I think it shows the richness and diversity of Ukraine's architectural history. What's remarkable about this particular church is that it stands sideways to the street. The reason for this is not only the old Orthodox tradition that requires that the church entrance should face the west and the altar the east, but also the Great Fire of 1811, as a result of which the entire neighborhood was destroyed and then replanted from scratch so that the buildings that survived the fire didn't fit into the new layout of streets. As you can see, the neighborhood is made up of 1, 2, 3 and 4-story buildings. In fact, it looks like a mid-sized town in provincial Ukraine. Rarely a passerby can be seen here, especially now that this appalling war is raging across much of Ukraine. Back in the old days of Rus, and this is what this land was called in the Middle Ages, with Kiev as its capital city, this place was home to a whole host of wooden churches dedicated to St. Nicholas the Wonder Worker. Some of them burned down, some were destroyed by the enemy, still others fell into disrepair. But technological progress is unstoppable, and Kiev wooden churches were replaced by churches made of bricks. Unfortunately, it didn't fix the problem, since the new brick churches were just as easily consumed by fire as their wooden predecessors, or perished at the hands of communist barbarians. However, each time it was damaged, the church, like a phoenix bird, rose from the ashes. I guess it's not for nothing that it's dedicated to St. Nicholas the Wonder Worker. Perhaps he's been keeping a very close eye on it all this time. The Great Fire of Podil that happened in 1811 was super terrible. It could be seen some 100 kilometers away from Kiev. The entire neighborhood was burned down to the ground. The church lost its roof. The only thing that remained were charred walls. But life must go on, and the church was restored in no time. So, as I said, the church was built between 1695 and 1707. How did the church name come about? The story is amazing. As I said, it was built in honor of Ukraine's most revered saint, St. Nicholas the Wonder Worker. Also, there was nothing special about this choice. It was just one of many Kiev churches dedicated to this saint. You might ask me why St. Nicholas has been held in such high esteem by Kiev residents. Here's the thing. Podil is a riverside neighborhood, which in the old days was home to Kiev Harbor and later on to Kiev Port. Naturally, it was a hangout for sailors, merchants, and tradesmen. And that's exactly who St. Nicholas takes care of. So it's not surprising that the merchants and tradespeople of Podil neighborhood built churches dedicated to their patron saint. They simply needed a place where they could ask God for good luck and a fair wind. Still, why the church is called St. Nicholas Prytysk? What's the meaning of the word Prytysk? It translates as to pin somebody down or push somebody against a wall. One version says that the name is associated with a miracle that happened in the church. One night, a thief sneaked into the church. When he was clawing his way out of the church, the icon of St. Nicholas fell on him and pinned him down against the wall. Miraculously, it held him tight until the faithful came in the morning. So take notice, my dear viewers. If somebody has stolen your property or the results of your hard work, let St. Nicholas, the wonder worker, catch them red-handed. Just go visit this church, say a quick prayer before the icon of this noble and strict saint, and trust me, justice will be restored. Be sure that the wretched thief will be pinned down by St. Nicholas' heavenly image and will get her or his fair share of punishment. Now, look at the bell tower. The purpose of any bell tower is to call people to a service. At first, this bell tower had only one floor, which was built in the Empire style in the first half of the 19th century. In the second half of the 19th century, the second floor was built in the Classicist style. Do the floors match? What do you think? My guess is that they do resonate with each other, but maybe you think otherwise. If you pop into the church, you'll see that quite a few original paintings or icons have survived to this day. They are dated back to 1830, meaning that they are 2 centuries old. Those lost over time were replaced by more modern ones. You might ask me, is the church open to the public? I have no idea. It's locked now, so I can't go inside. But it's highly unlikely that the church is still operational at a time when Ukraine is in the midst of a war with Russia. Some 6 million people have left Ukraine for foreign countries, such as Poland, Romania, Hungary, Slovakia, Germany, France, Great Britain, the States, the list goes on, because they fear for their lives. So far, 2.5 million have returned. Now the church is under the jurisdiction of the Ukrainian Orthodox Church of Kiev Patriarchate. In Soviet times, religious services continued until 1935, as the Metropolitan of the Ukrainian Autocephalous Orthodox Church, Ivan Pavlovsky, conducted services and lived here. One of the walls bears a memorial plaque in his honor. He was killed by communists as part of the anti-religious campaign and purges implemented by the Stalin's regime. The Metropolitan was repeatedly arrested and then released. He was forbidden to conduct services and intimidated. He was demanded to give up his faith and to switch sides, but he refused. Then the NKVD, later known as the KGB, ordered him to leave Ukraine. His relatives received a short note. "My dearest and nearest, I am very far from you. There are 37 of us from Ukraine here. Every night someone is taken out, and that's the last we would see of him. It's highly unlikely that we'll see each other again in this life. Don't worry. We must get through this ordeal. I pray, my dear ones, to the merciful Lord to stand and intercede for us. Yours sincerely, Ivan." He was accused of speaking to the masses about Ukraine's imminent withdrawal from the USSR and about the inevitable demise of the Soviet regime. Without a public and fair trial, an NKVD troika sentenced him to death. He was executed, if only to be rehabilitated several dozen years later. So guys, actually, communists stole first his property and then his life. Shortly before this bloody murder, the church was closed and the premises were handed over to a state-owned cotton spinning factory, and later on they were converted into a book warehouse of the state-owned organization called Ukrknigotorg, which translates as the Ukrainian Book Trade Organization. It was not until 1990, that is shortly before the collapse of the Soviet Union, that the church was returned to the faithful. The church building suffered grievously during the Second World War. Finally, in the 60s and 70s, the Soviet authorities began to take an interest in Kiev's architectural legacy and conducted a series of restoration works to restore the church to the shape and form it had in the 19th century. And that's it for today. I hope you love my video. Feel free to put your comments in the comments section below. Also, please donate any amount of money you think appropriate. Check out my account details and links in the description section below. Last but not least, please like my video and hit the subscribe button to encourage me to continue this work. Until next time, from me, Natalia Kishina, a Kiev tour guide, and English translator and interpreter, a teacher. Goodbye.